Imagine a political earthquake shaking the foundations of the UK government. Labour's shocking defeat in a Welsh heartland stronghold could signal the downfall of Prime Minister Keir Starmer, according to Labour MPs. This isn't just a minor setback, it's a wake-up call that's got everyone in Westminster buzzing about what's next for the party. In the recent Caerphilly by-election, Labour experienced a humiliating rout that has MPs fearing the worst for the upcoming local elections in May. Even though Plaid Cymru edged out Reform UK to snag the Senedd seat, that's the Welsh Parliament, for those new to UK politics, the real story was Labour's dramatic vote plunge. This collapse in a region where Labour has dominated for over 100 years is raising red flags, suggesting the party might slip to third place in Wales. For beginners, think of it like this: losing ground in your most loyal base is like a sports team bombing at home. It erodes confidence and makes recovery tough. Labour, which still holds the local MP seat in this town, managed only 11% of the votes, marking a whopping 27% swing against them. This isn't just embarrassing, it exposes how fragile Labour is right now, open to attacks from both progressive rivals like Plaid Cymru and right-wing challengers like Reform. And this is the part most people miss. In politics, these swings can cascade, turning a single loss into a national crisis. The result has ignited fresh frustration among Labour MPs. One described the strategy coming out of Number 10, the Prime Minister's office, as completely disjointed and unclear. A high-ranking backbencher put it bluntly: if the results in Wales next may even remotely mirror what happened in Caerphilly, there's no chance we can keep going the way things are. They added, sure, governing parties often stumble in by-elections, but when your support craters this badly, accountability has to kick in. The mood in the party is low. Everyone's feeling down and directionless. There's no easy fix or obvious replacement to pull us out of this hole, but we're all agreeing, business as usual isn't an option. These May elections are massive, covering over 1,600 council seats in England, plus votes for the Welsh Senedd and the Scottish Parliament. For Starmer, they've always loomed as a make-or-break moment. Some top ministers have whispered that heavy defeats could spark a leadership challenge. To put it in perspective, local elections often test a government's popularity like a midterm report card. Poor grades can force big changes. Breaking down the numbers from Caerphilly, Plaid Cymru's Lindsay Whittle walked away with 15,961 votes, grabbing nearly 47% of the total. Reform UK's Lyr Powell, who was seen as the frontrunner, trailed by almost 4,000 votes. For a visual, check out this result graph: https://interactive.guem.co.uk/datarapper/embed/ytsak/2. This outcome stings for Reform too, particularly since Nigel Farage made multiple trips to rally support in the area. Still, Powell remained upbeat, noting that the campaign was a learning curve. We focused on honing our grassroots efforts, training volunteers on our tools. Reform is evolving into a true people-powered movement. But here's where it gets controversial. Farage later claimed on social media that they hit their expected 12,000 votes, but blamed the loss on Labour's voters fleeing to Plaid, partly thanks to Whittle's decades-long local cred as a councillor for almost 50 years. He even framed next year's Senedd race as a straight shootout between Reform and Plaid, a bold take that sidelines Labour entirely. Do you buy that narrative, or is it wishful thinking? While experts saw Labour's dip coming, the fallout is hitting hard. The party now clings to just 29 of the 60 Senedd seats, complicating things like getting their budget approved. Imagine trying to pass laws with a shaky majority. It's like herding cats. More worryingly, it points to a deeper identity crisis. Labour seems stumped on countering Reform's appeal and the rising tide of left-leaning alternatives. Plenty of Labour MPs are fretting that tactical voting, where people strategically back the strongest anti-reform option, might save some seats but often boosts rivals like Plaid in Wales, the SNP in Scotland, or even the Greens and Lib Dems in English hotspots. One MP explained it simply: "Our plan hinges on rallying progressives around stopping reform. That only works if we're viewed as the top progressive choice. But if voters eye another party as more credible, that strategy backfires, and Labour pays the price big time." A few MPs drew some inspiration from Starmer's fiery Labour conference speech in late September. https://www.theguardian.com/forward/2025/forward/2024/Keir-Starmer-conference-speech-sets-up-choice-between-Labour-and-conference, where he rallied the fight for Britain's soul against reform. Yet, they lament the lack of follow-through. "Voters crave not just what we're against, but what we're truly for," one noted. Another was sharper. Keir briefly broke free from the constraints around him, but now he's back in the box, with Shabana Mahmood out front clarifying policies on folks from different backgrounds living and working here. It's a mess of mixed messages. Plaid's victory owes much to their straightforward, heartfelt pitch against reform's tough immigration stance, especially resonating in South Wales communities. Party leader Run AP Ireworth celebrated it as voters picking hope over hate, advancement over the same old rut. He declared, "Plaid is now Wales' genuine alternative, the sole force that can block reform's billionaire-fueled push and deliver a fairer tomorrow for all. Wales craves fresh direction." Downing Street's assurances that by-elections are tough for any government in power aren't calming jittery Labour ranks. One senior MP warned that a May repeat of Caerphilly would be a screaming siren demanding leadership shake-up. "We can't sleepwalk through the colder months," they said. "This loss stems straight from us drifting away from our core supporters." Public calls for reform are growing louder. The new centre-left group Mainstream, supported by Andy Burnham, http://theguardian.com/politics/07//labor-insiders-form-new-center-left-network-in-change-parties-direction, labelled the result a sad but predictable blow, stating, "As long as UK Labour leads without a sharp vision, cut off from its ethical roots and socialist heritage, these defeats will pile up." Labour Senedd member Ullen Davies, speaking to the BBC, slammed Westminster colleagues for echoing reform's rhetoric on refugees. But Cabinet Office Minister Nick Thomas-Symonds countered that border issues, like small boat crossings in the Channel, can't be ignored. "Voters are telling us loud and clear it's a top concern." But here's a controversial angle to chew on. Is Labour's struggle really about policy missteps, or is it a sign that the old left-right divide is crumbling, with voters fragmenting toward niche parties? What do you think? Can Starmer rally the troops, or is a leadership change inevitable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear if you're Team Starmer or calling for fresh blood.